Hi, I'm Arnie with Speed Gyms, and today we're going to go through an installation instruction here with Bob, our master technician from Benson Speed Gyms. So Bob, you want to walk us through how to install a kit?
Okay. Well, first off, this is a kit for the both the 390 FE motor. Well, it's for the FE motor, so we got 352, 360, 390, 410, 427, 428, and I'm sure there's a few other variations in there, so don't stop there. But you know, the FE was such a popular motor from 58 all the way up to 78 that there's a lot of coverage. It's actually our best-selling kit. This shows the kit components. Got the mini high torque starter, Hitachi style. Flexplate, which changes depending on which transmission we're going to use. The crank adapter, and the adapter plate, along with all the fastening hardware. The adapter plate is kind of versatile. We started out just working with the AODs, and because of that, we could also put on, with a change of flex plate, a C6 or the Big Bell C4. Not all C4s will fit. I want people to know that. It has to be a C4 that originally came out of the factory behind an engine that had 164 tooth flex plate. It's a starter location on the bell housing. It'll also fit E4 ODs with a change of flex plate. Okay, so C4, C6, E4 OD, and AOD will fit the way this is configured right now. If you want to go later model, we've changed it so that you can put all the modular style transmissions on it. So that would be the 4.6, the 5.4, the Ford V10. All those transmissions that came on those engines will also fit it with a few little hardware changes and flex plate changes. You just got to let us know what you've got. Also, if you got a 410 or a 428, those are externally balanced. We have a balancing machine, Stewart Warner balancer, and we balance the flex plate to match your engine. So when you get it, you just bolt it on. You don't have to do any balancing. Unless, of course, you're taking it to your engine builder and he's balancing the whole rotating assembly. You just tell us how you want it. So I'm going to start by looking at the back of this engine. Everything's been removed. Clear to the back of the block and crank. A lot of people will ask us if they have to use that tin plate that's used as a starter locating plate. And the answer is no, you don't use that. You take it off, leave it off. Sell it to your buddy on eBay. Kit's meant to use without it. Another thing I want to point out is these oil galley plugs. They stick out of the block, and we have machined at the back of our plate to clearance them, but I've found some of them that are just really long, and I'd rather you use this style here that you use an Allen wrench to tighten in because it's inset. If you use the brass style, or if you use the plug style that has the square head on it, those stick out too far. So check that out before you put it on. It won't let the plate go flush to the block. Start out by putting on the crank adapter. Clean the back of the crank off really good. I wire wheel them. And put the crank adapter on. Make sure it's flush. And of course it's got offset bolt holes, so it never fits right the first time around. Just keep rotating it until it does fit. It will. There you go, like usual. It took got it on the 6th rotation. If you got to go 12 times, you missed it. If you're putting this on for real, I'm doing this for demonstration purposes. Loctite these, and I would torque them to 60 foot-pounds. Of course, just for the installation here video, we're just zipping them on. We're not torquing them. That's the crank adapter. That was a tough one. Next is the block adapter. You spent a lot of time locating our holes. We got a nice CMM to do that with, so it should just pop right on. Don't have to beat it on. It's just a nice fit. If I'd have planned ahead and put the bolts where I could reach them, I wouldn't have to walk back and forth in front of the video all the time, but you might have to look at my back a couple of times here. That was actually an invite for Arnie to move the bolts for me. Oh, that Arnie, what a guy. Got it all moved for me already. So, that's the block. Then when you get done putting the block adapter on, just take a look, make sure it's touching the block all the way around. You know, I don't want dirt, rust, paint, oil galley plugs, any of that stuff holding it away. We want it to be flush to the block. Now I'm going to put the starter on. And we get a lot of questions about, will your starter with a solenoid fit where a starter without a solenoid originally fit? And the answer is yes. We've got it made so it fits exactly in the FE pocket. If you remember that, the stock Ford starter is huge. It's so big around that it doesn't take up any more space than this. So this has been made to fit all the stock headers, including the 406 and 427 headers, you know, the long ones. Once in the car, you might have a little more trouble on this, but it's basically not too bad to get at. And if you look at where the block protrusion up here and the solenoid, you still got an 1/8 inch of space, so that fits in there. And then where the block curls around, you got plenty of space in there, so it fits nice. The only thing I would recommend is if you're using a tight set of headers, that you use a tin shield. Keep the heat off the solenoid. That's death to the solenoid. Install the solenoid. Okay. Next is coming the Flexplate. And remember, the Flexplate is also not symmetrically non-symmetrical bolt holes, and that's specifically because obviously some of the Ford motors are externally balanced and you got to line them up. Once again, I would torque those. We're just putting them on quick for installation purposes. The torque on those, you know, look it up in the book, but it's between 45 and 55 foot-pounds. And I would Loctite those also. Suppose I could talk about the distance between the starter drive gear and the ring gear. That's a distance that's been engineered into this. If you have a problem with that, I mean, occasionally we find someone's got aftermarket stroker cranks that aren't really made to spec, and it's in a little too far, out a little too far. Call us and we can help you out with that. I've got some tricks to get the starter drive exactly right. Another thing you might want to check if it's a used motor is check your thrust bearings. We found a few come in where there was over 100 thou movement in the thrust bearings, and that was in a motor that ran nice. But that's pretty much the install, and that'll fit from 332 all the way up to 428 FE engines built from 58 to 1978. A lot of use on that FE motor. If you want more information or you want to see the kit, we have pictures of the kit, installation instructions on www.transmissionadapters.com. Thanks.